Hello, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen here, and we are live. And I'm going to bring on my guest here today, and then I'm going to show you a very important uh, um, video that I saw, or a recording I saw from George Carlin. Actually, it's pretty cool. But let me share my screen and get the kids on board here. So we're going to go to get Maui Holber. Let's see, where is everybody? So entire screen. Nope, no, 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 no. Where are my boys? I want to get my boys. Okay, Chrome tab. No, boys, Windows, episode. I don't have you guys on here. Why is that happening? Hang on. Let me go down and see if I can find you guys. So it's not there. It's not in Chrome tab. It's not there. Select an entire screen to share. Cancel. So let's go. Okay, are you guys on?
Yeah, we're
I'm
here.
on.
Okay. Okay. So let me see if I can get you. I gotta go again. There's a share button here, everybody, that I'm looking for, and I want to get my boys on board. I'm going in again. I'm going to window. Let's see. I've got you guys on. So I want to go to StreamYard, GC episode.
Probably not on your StreamYard, Jeff. It's probably on your YouTube because that's what you had to sign in.
No, 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 no. It's right here, but I don't see you both into my in my venue here. So entire screen. I'm just going to share the entire screen, and we're going to go screen one. Okay, so share the entire screen. I'm just going to do it the old way that I did it the old way. Okay. So everybody, we're going the old way. It's Jeff Eichen here with episode 307, and we're going to do the best we can today. And we are live and in person, not impersonating, but we're in person, sending the love to all the prisoners in jail for marijuana. So let me go find my Zoom people. There we are. Okay. So we're sharing our screen live, just like we did in old school days, everybody. So hopefully that's showing up in the incredible YouTube universe, and we're also on Roku today and POD TV. And Weed TV has contacted me, and they said let's burn, and so we're gonna finally be going national with Weed TV, and that's really exciting. So, so everybody, hang loose and in your caboose. And again, if my back office is not perfect today, I'll do an edit and have that up by tomorrow or Friday. Bear with me. It's really an incredible day. I have my medicine hat on that I got at the Bud Tenders event in Las Vegas. Snoop was there, but he was 3 hours late getting there to DJ for like 15 minutes. And it was really cool. And so it's the medicine woman that's hat here. And so my old girlfriend, she said, free the hair. So I've got a bunch of hair here, and I'm supposed to fluff it up here. So let's free the hair for a little while here. And if it gets chilly in my office, which the sun's out today, and I lost a friend of mine this past 10 or 15, 20 days who killed himself. So it's in a bad way that the universe right now is in terror. Okay, and it just doesn't feel right, everybody. So let me go get something for you guys and gals here. I just have let's see here. I have something I want to play for you guys and gals here while we're here. So here we go.
Infants are little people, leprechauns are little people, midgets and dwarfs are midgets and dwarfs. They don't get any taller by calling them little people. I wish their lives were different. I wish they didn't have to walk around staring at crotches all day. But I cannot fix that, and I'm not going to lie about what they are. There are some people who playfully refer to them as vertically challenged. They're not vertically challenged. The flying Melendas were vertically challenged. People who built the Empire State Building were vertically challenged. No shame in midgets and dwarfs. I do have a closing. I realize my time is a little longer than I expected. May I do this closing poem? Thank you, Larry. This is Try Stopping Me.
Try stopping us from bringing the prisoners home, everybody.
A poem I've written recently. I'm a man for the millennium, and it tries to celebrate some of the language we hear all around us. I'm going to use my papers on this, although it'd be good if you kept rolling for me anyway. I'm a man for the millennium. I'm digital and smoke-free. I've been outputted in. I've been up. Start again, George. You can edit this. I'm a man for the millennium, digital and smoke-free. I've been inputted, outsourced, uplinked, and downloaded. I have software on my hard drive, and I can give you a gigabyte in a nanosecond. I'm factory authorized, returnable, fully equipped, built to last, and I'm definitely biodegradable. My output is down, but my income is up. I'm tanned, rested, and market tested, user-friendly, and lactose intolerant. A diversified, multicultural, postmodern deconstructionist. I'm a cutting-edge, state-of-the-art, high-concept rageaholic, and I have a love child who sends me hate mail. I'm an alpha male on beta blockers, a bottom feeder and a top gun, a Bigfoot rainmaker. I give soft money with hard cash, and my revenue stream has a cash flow of its own. I'm ahead of the curve, riding the wave and pushing the envelope. I'm on board, on point, on message, but off drugs. I take power naps. I take victory laps. I've got a personal trainer, a personal shopper, and a personal agenda. I'm a totally ongoing slam dunk no-brainer with an outreach that's proactive. I eat junk food, I get junk mail, I buy junk bonds, I watch trash sports. I've been dumbed down with smart bombs. I'm in denial, I'm in recovery, but I'm out of the loop. I'm also on the bubble. A high-tech lowlife, anatomically, ecologically, and politically incorrect. An entry-level man with no exit strategy. Low rent but high maintenance, upscale but down home. I got a minivan with a microwave from a mega store in the mini mall. I've been to outer space. I've been to outer space on the internet. I'm a non-believer and an overachiever, emotionally deprived and market-oriented. I have hardcore software because I use the F word in my email. I'm new wave from the old school, and if I'm not at ground zero, you can reach me at square one. I'm gender-specific, voice-activated, capital-intensive, heat-seeking, faith-based, and work-related, but I'm definitely not group-oriented. I'm online, I'm in line, but most of the time I'm out of line. I'm cock-block, I'm ready to rock, rough, tough, and hard to bluff. I put the pedal to the metal, party hardy, and to me, lunchtime is crunch time. Thank you.
That is so good. Thank you. Okay. This is one of my favorites. This is one of my favorites.
So everybody, that's George Carlin. He was actually like talking to the United Press, and George Carlin stood up for his rights his whole life. He was one of us, and that's what we need to do. This next week, we're getting ready to roll into 420 here, and that's a really important day and time. It's springtime, so we're going to talk a little bit with Lawrence Cherniak today, the Hash King, Emperor of Hash, and we're going to learn a little bit about what time it is. It's time to plant and to get your seeds going and to start germinating your grow for the year. And some people do it all year long under lights, but outdoors, pretty darn sweet. And it's time to do that. Clean your house, clean your garage, sell your old cars, and lighten the load. But listen to what's happening in the news right now about descheduling, rescheduling, and Freedom Grow and the Beard Brothers are having an event in Boston next week, and that's going to be a music concert. And so just like our concert, but Relief Aid is going to be giant. So we want to get everybody involved, and we want to donate our proceeds to Freedom Grow so they can give it to the prisoners and their family when they come home. And the ones that are still in jail, we want to help with the funding from the concert to raise awareness, but the funding to go to the lawyers that we need. You know, we need Bruce Margolin. We need people to come on board and to help us, but they cost some dough, and not everybody can donate their time. Like Jeffy Fresh, me, I'm donating my time to make this thing, this show happen. But I bless you all for being here today, and hopefully my old school share screen is happening. And so I'm going to go back to my other view, you guys and gals, my gallery view, and we're going to, before we do our intro, we're going to introduce Peter and Lawrence. Peter, come in and say hi to Lawrence, and introduce yourself and tell us how nobody should be in jail for something that has helped you live longer.
Oh, welcome everybody. Glad you're here, Lawrence. Pleasure to meet you. I've seen you on the show before, so it's not like it's the first time I've really noticed you. I can't wait for your piece to come up. Yeah, I'm going to share some cannabis news with y'all today, but yeah, no one, listen, the utter disgrace in all fashions of justice is to jail someone for something that grows naturally. You know, it's not like this is something we produced and we decided that, you know, this is a better way. I mean, this is nature. This is here before we were created by God, if you're a believer in any sort of way. And if you do believe, you know God doesn't make mistakes, otherwise he'd be mortal, so the plant can't be a mistake. But to imprison people for, you know, sometimes life without the possibility of parole for a plant is honestly the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. Where there is no victim, there is no crime. Where there is no crime, how can there be punishment? So to all those that are in the unfortunate circumstance, so for any of us that have spent any time in jail, especially for the plant, some kind of awakening has to happen amongst the masses to demand this change, not in any way, shape, or form to allow it, even for a day. And in the news, we'll talk a little bit about that too. I had my own little personal reflection at the end of it too, just to show that this is silly, man. That we've got people that are not with their families, whose lives are being completely wasted, all because they've had a belief in a plant.
A great plant, a great beneficial plant.
You know, in my case alone, as many others, without this plant, I don't live. You know, I cannot survive. It's proven. It's a proven fact. I don't need, you know, laboratories and case studies and everything else. I know for a fact that I'm alive because I consume this plant on a daily basis.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Lawrence, come on in and say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody. My name's Lawrence Cherniak. Thanks for having me once again. And good to see you too as well, Peter. And yeah, it is an amazing plant. Millions and millions of people, more and more every day, all over the world, not just in North America and in Europe and the Western world, but also in the Eastern world. There's nowhere in the world that the movement is continuing to manifest itself regarding marijuana as being the miracle plant that it is, and more people knowing it. And it's absolutely, like you said, disgraceful that anyone should be in prison for it. And it's also disgraceful that it should be categorized with alcohol and tobacco, just like alcohol and tobacco are nothing like each other. Neither is marijuana and pot or cannabis anything like either of those two, and it should be in a category all of its own. And what we're dealing with is those people who are greedy and avaricious, focused only on money, focused only on an economy, focused only on making people slaves to money so that they can control the populace, because that's the way the world used to be long time ago, when people indeed did have to have guidance, but they don't need that same kind of guidance anymore, because we're all able to have an education and be more and well informed. So how's that for a little bit of a start to some of my conversation today. I was going to say ranting, but I'm not really ranting. It's stuff that all three of us happen to know and know very well, and so do a lot of other people. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to share it again.
And everybody,
Lawrence, I want
Yeah,
I
go.
want to add real quick to that, Lawrence. I want to say that, the late, great Steve Covey and other people like Dr. David Allen, that they've made a point, the simple point that cannabis itself, when people talk about the fountain of youth, is the fountain of youth. When you have apoptotic cell death and your body is regenerating and you're not dying of oxidative stress, people that smoke cannabis look younger than they are in better health. Just think of somebody that smokes or somebody that is drinking, that stress and stuff that it puts on their face. It doesn't do that with cannabis. Why? Because it's working with the body's endocannabinoid system like it's supposed to.
I'm 79.
Correct.
Yeah. God bless. God bless.
17.
You're 17. Yeah, you're 17.
I'm 79. Yeah, as of February.
Hey, welcome, Kim Gottlieb Walker, the famous new Lenswoman in Love book. I just enjoy so much people that are proud of their legacy. It's just so bitchin' to have that book from you, and that you're proving that 79 is nothing. When it's just a number.
It's never too late to reinvent yourself.
And so meet Lawrence. I think you might have met Lawrence before. Lawrence is a book publisher also. Lawrence, tell Kim about your book, your book library.
Do you know any of my books, Kim, by any chance? The Great Books of Hashish?
Oh, no. Sounds very interesting, though.
Yeah, they are interesting. They're photojournalism. So it's my stories and travels through about 50 countries in the world, and nobody has done anything like it. Most books about marijuana or how to grow it or things about cultivation. Mine is a visionary historical set of books that talk about every aspect all around the world. And without my books, there would never be any real following for hashish the way there is, and the way that the world continues to evolve towards hashish being the ultimate of the concentrates that people are extracting, whether it's in a solid form or in a liquid form or in a serum form or in a rosinous form, and all the other great names that are for all the derivatives that are coming out of it. There was no photos of hashish anywhere in the world before my books that showed beautiful temple balls the way we know them. I brought the temple balls back into visual existence when I was in Kathmandu in Nepal, looking for temple balls because they simply didn't exist for the days and weeks that I was there, until I ended up having to inadvertently make the first one. And one of my collaborators, we were sitting that night on the rooftop in Kathmandu, and he was looking at the ball that between the two of us that we'd made. And he said, "Oh my God, Lawrence," he says, "you're the only person in the world in Kathmandu who has such a beautiful temple ball." And I said, "No, you're wrong, Kali. I'm the only person in the world who has such a beautiful temple ball." And from there, of course, we now have, temple balls as a thing. And I'm happy to see temple balls being produced all over the world, especially the United States and Canada, because we're the two countries in the world that are leading the production more than anywhere else. Although, places like Morocco and Colombia are doing their best to catch up with us. And it's wonderful to see how people are indeed, using various machines and doing what they're doing. However, if I may, please allow me to either go forward or digress to what Jeff asked me to come on and be speaking about today. And that's the beginning of spring and people getting their seeds going, or else, making cuttings from their mother plants so that they can get ready for the summer season for growing primarily outdoor because of having better weather. Correct?
Yeah, it's really beautiful to have you on board today, and to teach a little bit about, to remind everybody to get their seeds in their germination moments right now, because the sun is starting to stream.
That's right. So dealing with that, the thing that most good growers or people who love to grow would be able to just basically can soak your seeds in a jar or a glass of water until you actually see the sprouts coming out, and then have the sprouts having the beginning of their primary root at least, I would say 3/4 of an inch long, or at a minimum. Sometimes for the heck of it, I've seen them and been a part of studies that showed them to be 3.5 inches long, so that when you put it into ground, you make a hole with another stick or an item or a spoon or a chopstick, and then you can put the whole root in and put it so that the calyx itself, which is probably by then busting out of the seed pod, to be able to be 1/4 of an inch under the surface or just barely showing, so that the plant can get a really good start, and you're not entirely burying the seed in the ground, hoping that it will come up, but you know that before you put it into the ground, its sprout is already happening, and you know that it's coming along, and it should only be a matter of hours before it stretches up enough because of the light that it's getting, with two beautiful calyx leaves, the primary leaves, and off it goes. So that's basically what I've seen is the ideal way of getting your seeds to grow, just similar to what you're showing there on the screen now. Over to the right, the furthest one, and you can see the typical seeds coming out of the seed pod. And so that's the time when you can start to put them into the ground, and then it's going to continue growing. If you placed it in there lightly, water the hole that you're putting it in a little bit, so that immediately it's not going to be suffering any shock and having to deal with dry soil. So the soil is wet, moisture's there, and can easily be absorbed through the skin of the root and provide nutrition, and have those two calyx leaves, the primary leaves, begin to get greener, and then put out the first primary leaves that are serrated and will lead to the first bracts. And from even that first bract, there's times that I've even seen flowers coming out of those very first bract before the plant was even 4 or 5 inches tall, because of the genetics of that particular plant. But that's a very good example of what people should be looking for. Jeff, you've got it right there. I have photos like that, and there you go. Especially the second one, which is the one that looks like it's about 1.5 inches long. So that's exactly perfect. What people should be doing in terms of knowing that they're going to be successful, and that's what we're talking about, is being successful.
Great advice.
Great
No
advice.
problem.
Well, everybody, it's springtime, and Lawrence, what is your preferred through the germination, through the 3 inches of a plant to 6 inches to 10 inches to 1 feet to 2 feet? What do you start with for organic fertilizer? What is your preferred?
It's not my preference, because it's nothing to do with me. It's me being able to report as the photojournalist what works best for people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm here to teach people, because that's against the law in many places for you to be teaching people. What I can help people see is what real good growers do as a reporter. So I can do that, but I should not be here trying to teach anyone how to do anything, because that's basically illegal. It's like the difference between being in court and the judge hearing you, and you're being there under arrest and having been charged because you're waving at people coming the other way on a highway, and there's a police person down the road, with a radar gun, who's going to catch them if they keep speeding. And if and you have the prosecutor saying, yeah, and this person was telling people to watch out because the police were there, and he was obstructing with the police doing their duty. And when you could easily say, I wasn't doing that at all. What I was waving at the police to tell them, don't be speeding. I had nothing to do with the police. I was just simply telling people not to speed. In which case, then the judge would say, okay, well, then he wasn't doing anything to tell people about the police and wasn't warning them about the police. is what his testimony is here. So Mr. Cherniak, you're free to go. So that's basically what I'm dealing with when I'm helping people to understand what the connoisseurs or the would-be connoisseurs, because there's a huge, huge, huge pool of people who appreciate the fact that it takes years. It's like a university course to learn how to be an excellent grower, because there's more than just growing. There's a matter of the cultivation. There's a matter of the harvesting. There's a matter of drying the plants, of curing the plants, just like the same thing. Some people are happy to, share with how great they know about taking fresh rosin off the plant and having fresh ash, when really it's a part of the culture to know that it's also a good idea to be able to cure the ash so that you're having a consistent material that burns evenly and smoothly, and not having to be dealing with, taking a piece of hash and putting a lighter or a match to it so you can see it bubble. That's, you're wasting the hash doing that. You shouldn't have to be burning a little bit of it to see it bubble. That's, silly. And especially when it comes to some of the rosin, because if you have good rosin or good BHO or ISO, if you have those and you let them dry long enough, then they will cure and they'll actually become crystalline. And then you can work them on a cheese grater or another kind of grater into a nice powder. And then you have something that the combustion will be that much better, because the idea is to have a good hit and not have to be working hard to get something that's still got too much humidity in it.
So everybody, we're at springtime and we're learning how to, or we're reminding you to germinate your seeds. And we have Lawrence, the Hash King, and we have Kim Gottlieb Walker, and we have Peter on board here. I haven't even done my my intro yet, but that's fine, everybody. Right now, we're going to bring Kim up. Kim, tell us about your book and some of your what's your do you have a story about being in Jamaica in the old days with Bob Marley and them growing?
Oh, well, yes, there was a lot of time spent with Bob Marley. And there's also a chapter in my book about smuggling hashish out of Pakistan. The foolish things we do in our youth. But no, my big news at the moment is that I'm going to be at the LA Times Festival of Books, and I'm hoping people will
All right.
come visit me there. I'll be at booth 304, which is the Writers and Publishers Network.
Fantastic.
And I'll not only have Lenswoman in Love, but I'll have my Bob Marley book, which is Bob Marley in the Golden Age of Reggae.
I read. Like that. Speakly Roots. Go for it, Kim.
So that's on April 18th. I hope people will come to USC and come see me at booth 304.
Fantastic. So do you have 2 books out, or do you have more out than that?
Well, I have 3 books altogether. I have 2 photo books because I was a photographer and photojournalist for most of my career. And one is on working with John Carpenter on his early films. And the other is my Bob Marley book. This one.
Oh, yeah, I got one too.
And this is the John Carpenter book. And,
Awesome.
And then I have, in my 70s now, I've reinvented myself as a novelist. So I took all of those great experiences I had and put them into Lenswoman in Love, which is basically a romance, a second chance romance set in the 60s and 70s, but it has all of my adventures in it.
That's awesome. I got 3 going that are in right now in editing. To come out. One's a manifesto, honestly, about life in general, government, and how we're ruled, and whatever. The other one is a book titled "I Didn't Ask to Be Here," which was my struggle through life, and my saying, "Hey, I'm here, and I got all this going wrong and responsibility when I didn't ask for none of it." And the third one that I just finished writing was A March for Plants, Leave No Plant Behind. And it's just about natural cures that are ostracized and obviously punishable by law, that are actually beneficial and save lives. So,
I know, no benevolent agriculture should be illegal.
right. Amen. 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 Hey, listen, if you're not hurting nobody else, I don't know what if something is illegal for. As long as you're not harming anybody else, what's the difference? Yeah.
Well, everybody, it's my birthday week. I was born on April 2nd, and all the Aries are popping. And even my girlfriend is Aries. So I don't think I've ever dated somebody that was a Ram. So it's kind of fun, you know. And the goddess is in the house. We got Kim Gottlieb to hold the space down for the women in weed. And it's amazing what's going on right now. We have an article coming out about Vivian McPeak we talked about last week in Chronic Magazine. Chronic Magazine's huge, and maybe Kim, I'll get for next episode, I'll advertise your books in there on my page. I get a whole page, and so now I'm doing the OG of the month, and I forgot who's my second one. Let's see, that I'm doing as OG, but I want to bring the females in, so we'll find a little corner in one of my designs on the page, and it's really beautiful. Actually, here, I'll show everybody the page. I got it right here, and I got my special software here. There we go. So check it out. This is a page that I designed with Rodimus. Rodimus helped me to design this page, but it's super bitchin'. You know, it's black on white on black, and that's the way most of his magazine is. Almost every page that they have in his magazine is that way, but it looks really sharp. And this took me several hours to design and make in Canva, but it's beautiful. That portrait of Vivian, can you believe it? That portrait is made from roach clips.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah, you said that last week. That's
from
awesome.
roaches. And so there's this guy that Vivian knows that made that all out of roaches. So that's cool. That's pretty amazing. So I also get a chance to advertise my weed show, my relief concert that we're preparing, and the ICFF that I own now. It's the International Cannabis Film Festival. And if everybody can sell seashells by the seashore, then you can do many things at one time, including I was out getting dirty today in the garden. I was in the garden today getting ready to plant my parsley. And so stay healthy, everybody. Go as green as you can. Watch your liver. Don't drink too much alcohol. Use everything in moderation except for love and compassion and empathy. Have empathy for the prisoners that are still in jail. Have empathy for the planet right now that are teaching these beautiful children that grew up with video games to run the drones to release on people that are innocent. It's just horrible, but Vivian has taught me to not be part of the revolution, but part of the evolution, and to be able to be a spokesperson for the news now. It's not just the Canna news anymore, and that there are prisoners still in jail for marijuana, everybody. It's time for that to be over with. But now there's all this, I'm a raw foodie, and what's the raw? What's the raw backwards? That's what's happening on the planet right now is WAR, and what are we fighting for? Who? And so it's Jeff Eichen here with episode 307, and we just got to come together right now over me and build the hempcrete homes and release the plant from Schedule Anything so the prisoners can come home. If they freaking let all the insurrection dudes out and didn't pardon them, I mean, how crazy is everything happening right now when there's somebody in jail for that beautiful plant that you see right there starting to germinate, like your child that is born and they grow up into a beautiful flower. They're painting a caterpillar on a 40-foot bus on my property on Saturday, and my friend's mother came and move to Port Townsend where I live. And she's already drawn it out. And there's a 40-foot bus that they're going to drive all around the peninsula and play music out of. And the bus is getting painted this weekend, but the caterpillar that they're painting on the side of the bus, and the name of the band's already on the side of the bus. We're having fun doing this. Abracadabra is the name of the band. And so Laura from New York is are you on, Russell? I'm going to mute you.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute you for a second. Okay. So the bus is being painted this weekend. So everybody join in community to help to end prohibition, to send money to Freedom Grow and to Last Prisoner Project, send letters to all those prisoners. They love letters, over the holidays and any time, and I was told some of them cool their sodas in their toilets. So we don't, and so have empathy, everybody, for each other. And when I did hospice many times, I just asked one question. What's your advice to the children as they have one more day to live or 2 more days to live? And what did they all say? Kim, what did they all say? What do you think? Peter?
Love.
Be nice to each other is what at the end of their life, they said, be nice to each one said the same fucking thing, be nice to each other. So
whenever I see someone who has a small child, I always tell them, rule number 1 is always be nice to your mother.
And rule number one in any religious organization is to treat someone like you'd want to be treated. Every last one of them.
That's golden rule. That's golden.
Word, and that word is love. Every religion revolves around love. Doesn't matter what the love is of, whatever else. It revolves around love. And if we don't have love, we can't have life. Period.
Okay, let's let Mr. Hartman in. Russell, say hello.
Russell, good seeing you, brother.
Unmute yourself, Russell. Unmute yourself, Russell.
There you go.
Hey, guys.
Good to see you, my friend.
You too, brother. Trying to stay alive. Trying to stay alive, man. Working on that hard. I'm getting ready to work out. And I just realized it was Wednesday. I was like, hey, call in and say hi to Jeff and gang. Hey, man. How's the wife?
We're here. Everybody's here. Do you know Lawrence? Did you meet Lawrence before?
I don't know if who's Lawrence?
Lawrence is the hash king. He wrote a whole library of books about the bubble, about the hash, and so he's an OG, old guy, and Kim, you've met Kim before. She wrote she was with Bob Marley, and so there's the book. There's Lawrence's book. There, you're muted, Lawrence. You're muted, Lawrence. You're muted, Lawrence. You're muted. Okay. I wish I could unmute from here. I cannot. Here, I'll ask him to unmute it there. Okay. So thank you. Russell, what's your update?
Getting ready to turn 61, another year. Thanks to cannabis and psilocybin mushrooms, man, I'm still pushing on.
Does that look at all familiar to you, Russell?
That's Lawrence's book. That's one of... Which volume is that? Is that volume 1?
That's book 1 of volume 1 of 3 books. Here is
What book is it?
The Great Books of Hashish. Here's the first 3 books.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Well, everybody...
When I was a kid in Germany, that's all we could get.
What's that?
When I was a kid in Germany and we wanted to smoke, all we could get was hash. And I got some good memories of hash.
Well, this book exists in German. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Aber natürlich, ich bin ein stolzer Deutscher.
Ah, sehr gut.
Danke.
Ah, bitte. What about you, Jeff? Do you speak? Sprechen Sie Deutsch, Jeff?
No, ik praat Nederlands. I used to live in Holland. Yeah, ik praat Nederlands. Veel goed.
It's very close. Very close.
Yeah, but Nederlands is... And you know how come I can do it good? I can do Dutch because I studied Hebrew as a kid to do my bar mitzvah. Yeah, but Nederlands is. And you know how come I can do it good? I can do Dutch hang on. I studied Hebrew as a kid to. I got my phone on. So, anyways, everybody, it's episode 30.
Is that right? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Russell, אתה מדבר עברית?
Was habe ich gesagt?
Ich habe gesagt, kennst du sprechen Ivrit? Hebrew?
Aber natürlich. Ja, ich war erstmal in den Vereinigten Staaten geboren. Meine Familie ist aus Berlin. Ich bin halb Ostsee und halb Westsee. Mein Vater war in Frankfurt geboren.
But you said you'd studied Hebrew as well?
No, Jeff studied Hebrew.
I studied Hebrew.
German. I speak German, I speak Spanish, I speak Hungarian, I speak French, and I speak a little bit of Chinese.
That's pretty good.
I speak English, the truth, and sarcasm. That's about all I got.
Russell.
I worked for the airlines, and I put those to use. Also, my wife is from Mexico, so here at the house, nosotros hablamos solamente español.
Yo no hablo nada en español, pero ni una palabra tampoco. Y no te engaño de eso tampoco.
Vale, mira, ich war in Argentinien im Januar und habe Zeit, habe nur Deutsch gesprochen. So viel Deutsch in Argentinien jetzt.
Yeah, I'm speaking in Peru.
Hey, I've got a question.
Come on, Peter.
The Amish speak a dialect of German or Dutch. Can you understand like the things that they say as well? Or
German.
It's called Flemish. It's Flemish.
Yeah, Belgian.
Flemish.
You know, Norwegian and Swedish and Dutch and all of them, they're all shoots of German. They all came from the German language. And German comes from Latin.
When I lived in Holland, they didn't have marijuana there. They had hash bars, and it was illegal, but they turned their head sideways to let all the red light district bars sell hash. And you would go in there, and on chalk, they would have these beautiful hash from Lebanon, hash from Afghanistan, hash from, down the street. And we would roll it with a paper filter and drum tobacco. And so that's my experience with tobacco, but it would go so deep down that it would get you high instantly, and it was really, really smooth and different. It was different.
Yeah, I haven't seen like a gold stamped brick from Afghanistan since like the 80s.
Right.
And that's
I got to Germany in 2020, and when I arrived, they gave me a big old block of that ash that Peter was just talking about. And I went nuts.
With a little stamp on it, yeah. Yeah, you'd take your lighter, and then you would light the corner and then break some off and put it in a what do they call it, a spliff?
Yeah, I don't use tobacco. But I got some hack fries here, guys.
It's funny because I can remember it in the 80s when we ran out of pot and we had hash. We called it unemployment. We called it unemployment money. And I loved it. I didn't give a shit, man.
When I was in Pakistan in 1970, 71, you could buy hash, but it was illegal. You go to the opium shops because opium was legal there, whereas hashish was illegal. But you could buy it under the counter.
I got mine too, Russ.
And I got a beautiful,
beautiful
slab about that big, and that's what I mailed.
I love the taste of hash.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to my students' crock house, they call it crock, and that's where they were holding up, and they went to this massage school that was empty, it was vacant, and it was 14 degrees, and it was cold, and I brought a frisbee, and we threw the frisbee, and it hit the ground, and it shattered, and so that was the only time that they got to play frisbee, but I would go in there and they would reach under the sofa and pull out a brick with a gold stamp on it and break a little off. And that's when I learned the hash dance. In Holland, 1979. 1979.
We just put it on like we take a freaking safety pin, put a safety pin, put a glass over it, light it up, get the fucking smoke up, fucking take a head out underneath with a straw. So many ways you can smoke it.
So
Look
here's
how far has this come, guys.
if I may interrupt, here's book
I know.
one in Spanish, and here's book one in French.
That's what you need, bro. That's when you start doing it in everybody's language, and that's going to get really popular.
Yeah, well, they've been popular for 50 years. 50 years since
Communication is
book came out.
everything, bro.
Yeah.
What your point of view.
I'm gonna go outside and get some of this beautiful Texas sun while you guys are doing your show.
So everybody, we're going to take a break here for a second, and I'm going to share my screen with you, and then we're going to have Peter read the news, and we'll carry on, go a little bit over today. There's some beautiful nugs there. Beautiful nugs. Okay. And wish we had some now. Okay. So we're going to share our screen, everybody, and we're going to play our let's see if I can get it here. Get to QuickTime. Here we go. So we're going to go boom, 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 boom. Okay.
Yeah, it's hot here today.
Can everybody see my screen?
Mhm.
Okay, here we
Yeah.
go. Here we go. Here we go. Let's bring this over. Okay, so we're going to bring this over, and we're going to go get ready for the news, everybody. And here's my and the news with Peter Yapil. Okay, just because I can, I did that for Peter. So that's a beauty. Hang on, let me get back to you now. I gotta figure this whole party out here. One day with when Weed TV, who said let's burn yesterday, when they give me some money, we'll have somebody in the back office doing all this shit. So everybody, we're happy. We're going to evolve. We're going to do a concert, and our concert's not going to be just for the prisoners and for Freedom Go and for 40 Tons and Last Prisoner Project. We're going to do a peace concert, and we're going to do Woodstock again. And so I'm going all the way out. I've been working on something behind the scenes that's pretty far out, and Mike Tyson, come and get some love from I've got come and get your love. I've got Redbone waiting for us, and I've got Stash Wagner. Don't bogart that joint. So let's do it, everybody. Come to me and Mike Tyson. Give us your dough to help us do this. And don't worry, everybody. It's going to be all right. Well, I think that's a Bob Marley song. Three Little Birds, So, Peter, get ready and give us the news.
You got it, man. Here's the Canna News for episode 307. Let's get right into it. A new analysis co-authored by the former DEA senior advisor is calling out the federal classification system, saying it has fundamental flaws and has caused immense damage over time. Right now, the government is working to move cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. But according to this report, the bigger issue isn't just cannabis where cannabis is placed, it's the entire system itself. The author argues that current drug law enforcement laws force regulators into a lose-lose situation. They either over-criminalize drugs, which leads to arrest, prison, and black market, or they over-commercialize them, leaving people exposed to corporate exploitation. And historically, criminal prohibition hasn't worked. Instead of reducing it, it often pushes illegal markets to create stronger, more dangerous versions of drugs. So what's the alternative? They introduce an idea of capitalism controls, which means regulating things, product strength, advertising, pricing through taxes, and limited industry influence. Basically, managing like alcohol and tobacco instead of banning it outright. Other major issues:
Current laws consider medical benefits when classifying drugs. The court argues that we should also consider social, creative, religious, and even policy impact likely to reduce incarceration. Because right now, those factors are completely ignored. And here's the kicker. The system blocks research of Schedule 1, making it harder for us to prove in the first place. So we're stuck in a cycle where we can't study it because it's restricted, and it's state because we can't study it. The proposal moving forward, highly new categories, including a harm reduction schedule for partner drugs and a mandatory market system for things like cannabis and psilocybin. This would allow legal access, but also strict control. Bottom line, the experts across the borders are starting to agree that U.S. drug policy isn't coherent. It's not evidence-based. It's based on root cause of failure, from incarceration to the opiate crisis. The real solution just isn't rescheduling. It's rebuilding the system from the ground up. Now, before I hand it back over, I just want to say, I know a lot of activists are upset by cannabis moving to Schedule 3, and I get it. I really do. But we need to look at what this actually means. Over 100 years, the cannabis hasn't moved on that scheduling. It's been classified as one of the most illegal substances with no accepted medical benefit. We all know that's not true. Activists know it, government knows it, and there are even patients that acknowledge the plant's medical potential. So the shift, the real movement we've seen in centuries, is the real movement we haven't seen in centuries. And now I hear the argument that Schedule 3 hands this over to pharmaceutical companies and takes it out of our hands. That's not entirely true. Yes, it opens the door for pharma to also open its research across the board. This means studying cannabinoids, understanding that how they interact with the body, and actually proving what we've been saying all along. And that's something we can be a part of. That's nothing stopping us from proposing in research, working in legitimate labs, and applying for grants. That's not out of reach, and it's something we should be stepping into. Now here's something that they don't want to talk about. The impact of sentencing from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 are treated very differently under law. Schedule 1 comes with harsh penalties, more felony charges, and longer prison times. Rescheduling to 3 reduces penalties, is more flexible, recognition of medical use. This difference alone means something huge. Cannabis is no longer considered a Schedule 1. And how do they justify still keeping people in prison for something the government is now acknowledging has medical value? We can't, but that opens the door for sentence reduction, case reevaluations, and many of them expunged. In my opinion, that should be happening across the board, because if classification was wrong, then the punishments tied to them were wrong too. Now as activists, we want full repeal. We want cannabis treated like every other plant. Let's be real. A government is not going to go from Schedule 1 straight to do whatever you want. That's never been the path. Instead of rejecting the progress, we should be using it. We should be pioneers. We should be proving the truth, not waiting for permission from the system we fight, because that's where we've been wrong. We've been asking permission instead of building proof. It's time to educate ourselves, step into science, and show the world what we really believe, that cannabis isn't useful, it's transformative. I'm Pete Gable. Now I'll send it back to you, Jeff.
As well, if I may add, as a Schedule 1, it's no research is allowed to be done, no studies are allowed to be done.
Right.
Is a significant fact as to how they're keeping people ignorant and uninformed. So that's another reason why, like I mentioned earlier, it's imperative that we stop having these old-fashioned ways of dealing with this product and putting it in the same category as tobacco, alcohol, and firearms.
Yeah, I totally agree. I myself sat awake. I go days where I don't sleep for 4 or 5 days because of my illness. And in one evening, in 12 hours, I wrote an entire proposal to be granted to Arizona State University and to John Hopkins, and I could get in both of them, put my case before them to prove the valuable effects of cannabinoids on the human system, and that's it. It's not patentable stuff. It's not something to make money on. But we can prove the plant has what we say it has.
We already have
that the
proof.
plant is as beneficial as we
It's a
think
matter of
it is.
getting them
Then
to
we
accept
win.
it. Yeah, it's a matter of getting them to accept, because we proved it for over 50 years already. This is nothing new.
Well,
I
reefer
understand that.
madness,
That's not,
reefer madness is going to turn into reefer gladness, and it is still reefer sadness.
And reefer magnets. We need reefer magnets.
And we need some reefer magnets. Yeah, we need some magnets so we can stick together, everybody. It's Jeff Eichen with episode 307. It's my pleasure to be the steward of springtime and learning how to put your plants in the ground now, everybody, and baby them and love them and talk to them. My girlfriend said to me today, she said, put your parsley in, but talk to it. I said, you want me to talk to my plants? You know, and we watched Dr. Doolittle. We watched Dr. Doolittle the other night, and it was the Eddie Murphy version. And you know, with our broken English, because you know, she's a Faranger and a beautiful soul. We were laughing our heads off when he was talking to the animals. And I said, do you want me to be Dr. Doolittle and talk to my parsley plants? She goes, yes.
Absolutely.
carbon
So,
dioxide, that's what they feed on, then they produce oxygen. Look at all the good we're doing for the world.
I mean, who's to tell me that even a redwood, you know, I mean, or a daisy or whatever, or a seed, you know, that you can't talk to it. And if you do, who's going to tell me not to, you know, and throw me in jail?
Whenever I burn myself when I'm cooking, I'll go outside and I'll break off a little piece of aloe vera, and I'll thank the plant for having supplied
That's right.
with an instant cure for my burns.
That's right. That's right.
Would you like another instant cure for your burn, Kim?
Sure.
Egg white. Egg
Oh,
white egg white seals the burn so that the air can't get to it and cause deterioration of your skin. It will blow your mind. Within 45 seconds of that egg white drying, you'll be feeling no pain. Do it 3 or 4 times, and then cakes up, and you will not stop thanking yourself for taking this advice.
Thank you.
My grandfather taught me that.
That's pretty cool. Well, everybody, we're at the top of the hour, and it's been a pleasure all day to do everything that we're doing. I will play my outro. You guys can stay in or not. And thank you, StreamYard. I didn't record this show today, but StreamYard did. So hopefully the 4 up here of 4 of us will be on board. Otherwise, I'll edit a really beautiful show. And pray for Weed TV to monetize us and to get us going, and for Mike Tyson to come in and get on board, and for Joe Chronic. He wants to take me to Colorado next week, actually, to go do some media for them for their opening party for their next their issue that's coming out. So let's support all the magazines in paper. There's Skunk Magazine, there's High Times Magazine, Charlotte's Web. I showed the High Times cover from Charlotte's that had Charlotte Figge on there, and she's no longer with us, but she went from, are you ready, everybody? 300 seizures a week down to 2 by taking the strain that the brothers invented. They crossbred to make this Charlotte's Web strain that helps the children. And she went down from 300 to 2 a week epileptic attacks. And that's amazing. So, so we're going to allow you, Kim, here to come on in, share with us something.
All right, check this out. This was the most popular cover of High Times Magazine of all time. Can you see it?
Let me see where it is. Hang on. Let me see if it's on my second screen. No, I don't see it yet. Hang on.
Bob Marley with a bunch of weed. Kim, was that one of your photos?
It is. That's the photo that I shot of Bob Marley for the cover of High Times magazine.
Oh my
who told you
God.
that was the most sold issue?
It was their most popular cover ever. That was in 1975.
Hang on,
No,
I'll get it on my side.
Photo on the cover was the most sold, is what was told to me by Ratso Slocum. Do you remember Ratso, Larry Slocum?
Bob Marley,
He was
High
an actor.
Times
So my cover sold
cover.
439,000 copies. You don't know it, I guess, right?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's the most sold issue. And I'm also in the centerfold of the second most sold. I have more centerfolds in High Times as their only international correspondent.
Bob Marley, High Times cover.
Here, I'll show you the cover of the most sold, as far as I was told, at the 25th year anniversary of High Times magazine, when we had a party in New York City that I was invited to, when Ratso told me about it. And I was there with Jack Harrer and who's that actor who's so well known, who used to be on Cheers, and who's doing so.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody was there, and Woody took number 7 in the deck of playing cards that I brought a case of my playing cards that he ended up giving to his daughter because she commandeered them from him. But that was a great time when we were there that way. And I'll show you what I've been told by Ratso Slocum that was the most. You see, because they don't want to tell you themselves if we are the ones who have, because then they're afraid we're going to ask for more money for our photos the next time around. I mean, they were paying me a lot of money for my photos as their international correspondent.
I worked with Woody Harrelson for many years. I worked on Cheers with Jeff's sister for 9 years.
Wonderful. Here's what I believe, because listening to Larry Slocum was the highest selling issue of High Times magazine, is this cover here, which I can show you in a moment. I guess I should have a copy of it handy.
Well, that High Times cover was probably the only time that Bob actually, there's my High Times cover. That's my shot of Bob Marley. It's one of the only.
It's a lovely shot, very friendly and warm looking.
It's one of the only times he enjoyed posing because he didn't really like to pose. He didn't mind me being a fly on the wall and just, documenting things.
Is that a pound of pot?
He was all on board. He really enjoyed that session.
Oh yeah.
And they're making a documentary about High Times magazine right now, and so it'll have a couple of my photos in there.
Is that a pound of pot there?
Oh, it's more than a pound, but nowhere near as good as what you can get today.
Oh yeah, stems and seeds that you don't need. Acapulco Gold is badass weed. Yeah. Well, everybody, we're with some OGs, old gals and old guys, and Peter and Kim and Lawrence. We had our usuals on, suspects. We're praying that this world gets simpler and better. Keep your circle small and your intake of love high, and do a vibration every morning that visualize, like my buddy Jeff Mazansky that I filmed in jail 10 years ago now, and he's been home for 10 years, but he didn't come home with a pardon, and all the insurrection dudes did. So let's give them all a pardon and end prohibition. So it's not Reefer Madness, it's Reefer Gladness. And that's going to be the name of my new movie. So, because I got already, I got Lifer's Madness. So everybody, I'm still crazed that we're having this show about prisoners in jail for marijuana. It could be your father, could be your brother, could be your mother or grandma or auntie. So let's be done with that. Let's stay in our circle. And when the concert comes out, it'll be for the prisoners and for global and world peace.
And everybody come see me at the LA Times Festival of Books on April 18th.
April 18th. Okay.
So keep in mind what's on the cover of, I believe it was April 1978. It was two hands. Let me put this aside. It was two hands rolling a joint, an oiler in Jamaica as well.
Hey,
So-
well, Jamaica should dance with joy that so many states and so many countries are free right now for marijuana. They used to kill people for smoking a J. I mean, what the fuck?
It was, and had the first of 4 centerfolds in a row that were mine. And at that same time came out Stone Age magazine. You remember that? They only had a few issues of it. So I had the first 2 centerfolds in that as well.
Well,
So-
sexy centerfolds should be marijuana for sure. Buttalicious. So, Peter, any final words? Any final words, Peter?
Yeah, I just want to say, hey, listen, like Jeff time says, it is springtime. Love is in the air. So let's make as many babies as we possibly can and get them in the ground to help the world be a better place. Let's remember that. Do not forget how much you have. You can step outside your front door. You can breathe the air. You can hop in your car. You can drive. You can decide what room of your house you want to stay in. Many don't have that. And all because they have the same belief we do that marijuana, cannabis, whatever you choose to call it today, is a beneficial part of human existence. As we have an endocannabinoid system that every cell in our body thrives to absorb and take in these things. We haven't had sickness like this, guys. And cancer is running rampant. Everything runs rampant because we don't have this plant being used the effectiveness as it did 100 years prior. Peace, guys.
Quality of life. And Kim, any final words?
One love.
Okay, and Lawrence, any final words?
Many loves, all the love in the world. Love and music.
Okay, everybody.
One more last thing I'll say is
I'm gonna
do service for somebody. Do service for somebody every day. When you give a hand up, it is the greatest gift you can give someone. You have no idea how good it'll make you feel, not as much as that.
That's right. Encourage each other all the time.
Okay, everybody. I'm gonna show you my
The hat that this Jeff caught me in Peru, like you all to know.
So I'm gonna show my outro here, everybody, and here we go. Here,
God bless.
hang on.
Good luck.
Here's
Good
my.
luck. Go, Kim.
President Trump, please release and pardon Edwin Rubis. He is still in prison for a non-fi cannabis crime.
Free the prisoners, free the plant, free the planet, free yourself.
Don't forget, Aries, brothers and sisters. Chronic Magazine is having their event on 4/19, and don't forget High Times and Charlotte from Charlotte's Web, and Freedom Grow and Beard Brothers are having an event that's going to be awesome. So let's end Prohibition, everybody. Love and light, Jeff Eichen, episode 307. Today's episode 304 is all about legacy. I call the people in the industry that are activists and tireless OGs. It's a noun, OG. One involved with like-minded others that provide a level of organization and resources that support much larger and more complex transactions than an individual could achieve. We OGs, a real gangster, is someone who stands up for what we believe in, who fights for what they want, who works relentlessly to reach their goals. A real gangster works with a team to create a network. Some call this organized crime. I call it being a real OG. The real crime is sitting down and standing back and not letting others dictate your world. Let's stand up together and let's grid out the world, because the world we see is a world of equality, prosperity, and connectivity. OGs rise up to the occasion of being the change. What pill are you going to take? Jeff Eichen here with Weeds Day, episode 304. And like a cigarette
307
addict or a dieter, I find myself sitting all over again from square one in my efforts, and my efforts alter, control how I employ social media in my life. It is also very powerful, and as it is a conduit to straight into our consciousness, it is valuable and essential in some ways, but dangerous and damaging in others, because it's merely a tool that can be used or abused, and Zucky Poo wants it wielded just as it was designed. The struggle is real. That was a quote I got from Vivian McPeak, HempFest promoter, designer, and OG. So our legacy is to use social media responsibly and to get up, stand up for your rights. Jeff Eichen, episode 304. Sorry to be windbag today, but it's all about legacy. What's your legacy? Climb on board. We're going to do the concert. Okay. Peace in the Middle East. Good afternoon, everybody. Rest in peace, brother E-Love from Public Enemy, and Joe Chronic's incredible friend and partner in crime, and help us from the other side, E-Love. Your music was beautiful, and you stood for everything that we're doing right now. It looks like a lot of people are getting on board the train, the wagon train, to do protest music. We have Stash Wagner. We have doing a remake of Don't Bogart That Joint, and we have incredible help from Joe Chronic. We met Joe in Seattle this week, so Joe and I are now bros for life, and he's going to help with the concert and everything else. So keep it going, you guys. My heart is out for you and the whole community when we lose a OG from the Cannabis Society and space that we have. But Rick, brother, Rick.
Let me see that magazine, man. Let me see that. Who on the cover, man? Who on the cover?
Mike Tyson. Everybody, episode 307 here. It's Jeff Eichen live from Port Townsend, Washington.
Christian PC.
Cannabis is the greatest plant on this earth, and it should be used properly. And don't believe all that negative propaganda that has been forced upon us over the last 100 years or so.
I'm running a cannabis art gallery with beautiful images on hemp and hemp plastic and the handmade paper that we're going to get from Paul Stanford in Portland. So my mission is to get everybody on the planet to give me a peace sign, and then I'll have a peace sign art show, book, and share it with the world. It's the only way to end war. Oh, if you ever wanted to be an activist in our new green farmy, you can totally contact me, and we're going to be rebranding relieffoundation.org. Will now be relieffoundation-foundation.net. So everybody, it's time. It's freaking time. Let's end this and give thanks for all the OGs, Willie at the Super Bowl, and Tom Lehrman at Harvest Cup, and Bobby Maga.
Can change that. Sign the petition, raise your voice, and Edwin Rubis has spent decades behind bars for a non-violent marijuana conviction. While the world moves forward, he's still locked up for a plant. Together, we can change that. Sign the petition, raise your voice, and...
Okay, love you, man. Let's get me there. I love you.
Bye.
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 Hemp Parade.
This is Tommy Chong for Lifers. Madness.
Jeff Eichen here, live. I'm here with you, everybody. It's been a quite long show.
Everybody, is this thing on? Please don't forget, don't bogart that joint. Originator, they still deserve some support. Here's their QR code. Do it now. It'll help. And let's not forget Jack Harrer, the father of the movement.
Hemp Parade.
Peace in the Middle East, everybody.
Free the prisoners, free the plant, free the planet, free yourself.
That's all I got for you today. It's Jeff Eichen here, and let's go back to our Zoom chat here. See if we got it here. There we are. It's me in the middle next to the beautiful High Times magazine cover from Kim Gottlieb. She was beautiful today. All my people were beautiful today. And that's all I got for you today. I'm going to sign out here. And I'm going to stop sharing here. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. And it's Jeff Eichen with episode 307. We went over today because we went over and we can not go overboard enough till we end prohibition. And so thank you for Beard Brothers for having a concert. With Freedom Grow. We're going to get to all of you to help us do the concert, and keep rocking, keep rolling, everybody, and roll another one just like the other one. Don't bogart the joint, my friend. Pass it over to me. So it's great. Hello, Donald, and hello, Dorothy. Holy moly. I actually got the Aflac guy. Let's see if we can. Aflac. So we got the Aflac guy. He's screaming so we can get the freaking job done. So Bob Marley, we love you in spirit and in all the wonderful revelations that you had and how marijuana inspired you for creativity, love, and you know, if you're going to have a beer, only have one and then blow some, something else, because marijuana is safer than alcohol. We don't tell everybody on the planet to go out and use it. We just don't want anybody in jail for it. Okay? Let's end this mess. Jeff Eichen, it's been a pleasure. Hemp Hooray. I'm out.